Hey everybody, Craig here, CLP Bushcraft. So I'm out in the woods today and got out this morning and just been playing around, kind of making stuff. I've been making these little fish hooks, little primitive fish hooks. I'm going to be teaching a couple classes in Georgia coming up in a couple of weeks at the Georgia Bushcraft Fall Gathering, and I'll be teaching how to make primitive fish hooks and a fine end fire in one stick, basically a one stick fire. But I come over here today and, like I say, been playing around making these little fish hooks, just playing with knives. Okay, my pronghorn, I have been using it quite a bit here lately, and I have really I love this knife. It's one of my top favorites, as everybody knows if you see my video of my top favorite knives. But I've been using it to carve with and stuff, and I've just really grown really fond of this knife using it. I mean, I had it, like I say, I loved it. It's pretty. I had it, basically put up. I would wear it when I go out on town, stuff like that, because it's a smaller knife. But yeah, I've just been really using this knife for about the past 2 weeks and really am loving it. Now, if you saw my video, the which handle scales is best with wet hands in wet conditions, this one is not the one to use if you're going to be out in the wet. But when it's dry, it is, fairly grippy. It's not bad at all. But with this bone and it being thick as it is with these thick gray liners, it just really fits my hand really well. And this blade shape, I love the blade shape, and it's CPM 3V steel. It is razor sharp. Yeah, can't say enough good things about this knife. And like I say, I've just been using the heck out of it. All right, so what I want to do today is use this knife. Like I said, I've already been over here making the little fish hooks, but I want to make a figure 4 deadfall. I hadn't made one of them in a while. It's been a minute. But I want to make a figure 4 deadfall using the LT Wright knives pronghorn. Stick with me. Okay, so I went and got this big old rock. I had it over at the fire pit over at my shelter. And I have went and cut some sticks now for the figure 4 deadfall. So now, as you can see, the way I've got it lined up here is in the shape of a 4, okay? The way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna take each piece and then I'll cut the notch in it and pair them up so you can see each step of which notch to cut and which stick. So let me get the camera on the tripod and we'll get started. Okay, so first off, we're going to do the top. Right here is going to be kind of a 7 notch. Get it in front of the camera so you can see it. So I'm just doing a push cut in. Now, with these figure 4 deadfalls, it ain't always the, just you cut these notches and then boom, it just goes together perfect. No, a lot of times it takes a lot of fine tuning with that. You have to play with your notches, make them deeper, might have them too deep. You just can't never tell. Okay, so we got that. So what that's gonna do is pair up with this. So what I'm gonna do with this is make kind of just a point. Okay, so you can see where that will lock into that, okay? Then On this end of it, we need to make a point because it's going to lock in to that other one. I'm going to make a 7-notch on it. Okay. That to lock into there, that to lock into there. And we'll kind of position it where we think we need it. This is probably going to go right along in here. Okay. Sorry if I'm out of frame. I'm trying to look at it off camera to cut it. Okay, so that's grass. All right, so you can see what we got going here. This one, this one. Now we need to go here and put kind of a shelf, okay? So what I'm gonna do is mark here, here, where these two meet up at. So we're gonna put we gotta make sure that we do it on the right side to make sure that this is up. Okay, now let's what we'll do is just cut in. Like so, and then just take that out. So we got it, basically it's flat. Okay. Trying to keep everything lined up. Oh, goodness. It's kind of hard to do. Sitting on the ground with the camera. Right here in front of me. So you can see that you got to make like a little shelf here and meet up. So this one, see how it's rounded. I need to make that like flat. we need to go a little deeper on this. Basically to make this little shelf. Now it's locking in. Okay, so each piece is locking in. Need to work on this one just a tad. Like I say, this is a trial and error type project here. You gotta do some adjusting. Okay, let me kind of get the camera set up and see if we can get this rock balanced on top of it, and then show you the trigger of how that it goes off. Okay, so I had to kind of fine tune on it just a little bit, but I think I got it where it's working pretty good. Now, one thing I didn't do is at the end of the trigger stick here, you can put you can kind of carve it down as a point, and whatever kind of bait that you're using, you can stab through it. That way mice or wherever you're, primarily like mice and ground squirrels, that kind of thing. But anyway, you could poke your bait through that, and they would have to try to bite on it, pull on it. That way this is setting the trigger stick off to make the whole thing work. Okay, so the way it is, I've got the rock kind of balanced over here on my foot. And what we're going to do is you're going to take this stick first, then the top one. Let's see if I can kind of zoom it out. Well, I need to zoom it out. Hold on. Okay. You're going to start with this stick first, and then this one. And what you'll do is take the rock, kind of put pressure on it. That way you can set this one in. Like I say, this is not the easiest thing. The rock's heavy too. And you want to make sure everything is lined up far as straight up and down. Okay, there it is. Now, like I say, this is your bait stick here. Go around and see how I got it up and down pretty straight. All right, now find this tripod will stay home. All right, so we'll take a stick and say that there's a little mouse. He goes up there, he's like, oh, there's something to eat. Let me get this. And boom. Just like that. And as heavy as this rock is, He ain't going anywhere. Yeah, let me show you again. So you got to remember what sticks what. Okay, so this one first, then this one. The rock rests down on top of it. Wow. As you can see, the forward pattern here, and then he comes. And see now, this time I didn't have it very hair trigger. That's where you got to just kind of play with it. Just like so. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I say, it's been a little while since I made a figure 4 deadfall, and it was fun to come out and to do it, and a little bit of a trial and error. Like I said, I hadn't made one in a while, but it's good to come out into the woods or your backyard or just wherever and, you know, do these skills ever so often. Refresh yourself with them. You never know when you might actually need to make a figure 4 deadfall to actually acquire food to survive. So it's good to know these kind of things. And I hope this video helped teach you a little bit if you didn't already know. There's thousands of videos on YouTube of how to make a figure 4 deadfall. I thought it'd be fun to make one and to use my LT Wright knives pronghorn to do so. Like I say, I've been using this knife a lot and really loving this knife. The more I use it, the more I really love it. And like I say, this is a one-off custom, guys. I mean, they make pronghorns all the time, different scales and stuff like that, but then they'll make customs like this. And if you're interested in getting something like this, it's a custom and looking for something like that, become a Pout House member. It's $25 a year to be a Pout House member, and it's so much stuff involved with being a Pout House member. One, you get the opportunity to get knives like this that are custom one-off key stamped. Key stamps are reserved only for Pout House members. That the blade shows, Atlanta, Texas, Utah, the different blade shows that they have, they normally have always key stamp knives, and they're not just laid out on the table. You got to know, you got to be a Pout House member to know how to ask for one of these. But it also, the forum, it opens up the forum for you to, there's all kinds of stuff on there. Everything from four-wheel drives to cooking. There's all kinds of forums that you can get on there and communicate with Pout House members all around the world. You're entered in a monthly drawing for a free knife. They have hot off the grinds on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you get to go I'm in on the hot off the grinds. And then as well as getting any kind of Pout House merchandise, you know, you got to be a Pout House member to get that. So like I say, guys, if you're not a Pout House member, it's a really cool thing to do to become one. And like I say, it's $25 a year. I mean, you can't really gripe about that. But I know it's a lot of people get on there and say, well, there's a knife I can't get. Well, okay, true. This is a one-off knife, but LT Wright Knives makes a lot of pronghorns, and they go to dealers and they'll have them at their shows, the virtual shows and the live shows like Atlanta, like Blade Show. But if you want to try to get something like this that's a one-off, become a Pout House member. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, check this out. They're getting some new merchandise in the web store at LT Wright Knives. So several different caps. There's a tumbler, great coffee cup. I use it every day now since I got it. So go check out the new web store on the website. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna play around in the woods a little bit more with this knife, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.